Well, thank you very much for letting me come and talk to you guys today and share with you about our Community Resource Project. This is a new joint effort that we have here in San Luis Obispo County, and it's joining SLO Community Action Partnership of San Luis Obispo, the Victim Witness Department out of the DA's office, the County Office of Education, and United Way, which hosts the 211 system. And so these agencies have gotten together because many of you may or may not know that we have over 800 nonprofits in this county alone. That's not programs, that's just organizations. And each organization can have multiple programs. So that is a lot of resources, a lot of information out there, which can be a little overwhelming for one person to try and figure out and navigate that system themselves. So we're looking to promote one updated, comprehensive resource guide for the entire county and streamline the process to make it easier for people to find these services. And that is 211. So this is usually when I like to ask people here, who here is even familiar with 211 or have used it before? Maybe a couple of you, some of you know. Okay, perfect. Let me tell you a little bit about 211, give you some history on it. 211 is actually a nationwide program that began in the late 90s, and every county has their own service. We have almost 100% coverage nationwide. It came to our county in 2007, and at that time it was combined with the crisis hotline, so it was 211 hotline. And due to funding, a few years later, we had to divide the two services. So Transitions Mental Health took over the crisis hotline, and United Way took over the resource information. And I keep the 800 hotline number up here because I wanted to share with you that we do still partner with TEMA and work together with them so that if somebody calls 211 in a crisis situation, we're not going to tell them they need to hang up and dial 911. We're trained to stay with them on the call, to do a warm transfer to someone who can get them the services that they need, and stay on that line until they feel it's safe to depart. And likewise, if somebody does call the crisis hotline and in the course of that conversation happens to mention, by the way, I can't afford groceries this month, they have access to our resource database so that they can get that information that they need and help them. So we partner with them, we're kind of sister organizations. So that's it in a nutshell. Now this is the slide that I call ring around the resources. This is oftentimes as service providers, you know what I'm talking about. You've dealt with clients who have been bounced around from agency to agency, and they hit roadblock after roadblock. We don't provide that service. That's no longer offered here. I'm not really sure where you need to go for that. We can't help you. Maybe try back later. And this is exhausting. And they get assistance fatigue and they just quit because it's overwhelming. And so 211 is trying to get rid of that and streamline the process so that you can call one number for all of your needs, because oftentimes our challenges are very dynamic, and so we need a dynamic solution. So this is my particular favorite slide because if you can read some of these questions, I can't pay my rent. How do I get toys for tots? I need to talk to someone. I need to find health care. So if somebody calls 211 and all they ask is for toys at the holidays, maybe the reason they need toys for the holidays is because they can't pay their rent and they need to talk to someone and they need health care. But all they ask for are toys for tots. Our contact specialists are trained to work with callers to try to figure out if there's some other needs that they might have. Even though they haven't asked for it, we're trained to help uncover and let them know that we can help with a whole variety of services. So they can contact one number and streamline the process. This here is a pie chart for our county to give you an idea of where our calls are coming from. About 30% of our calls come from San Luis Obispo proper. About 15% come from Paso Robles, another 15% from Atascadero, and it breaks down from there. 211 is always free, it is always confidential, and it is bilingual. So you will be able to speak to someone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And I do like to point out to people with our cards here, I have cards for you, that we have an 800 number that's listed on all of our material. that even though 211 has almost 100% coverage in our county, we do have some rural pockets that might not be able to get a cell signal, or they have a carrier who hasn't authorized it. So if that's the case, let them know they can always use the 800 number, because you should always be able to speak to a live person. So that's always helpful information, and it's on all of our material. This breaks it down a little bit to compare some of the calls we have here in our county versus the rest of the state. So it may not surprise you that housing is the #1 issue that we have calls for. About 30% of our calls are for housing. That's followed with mental health and addictions, utilities, legal, consumer, and public safety. And that just kind of gives you a snapshot of where we are with the rest of the state. This breaks down the calls even further and lets you know we get about 5,000 calls annually and about 5,000 IP addresses. So we have about 5,000 online users. 33% of our calls come in after hours or on weekends, which makes sense because that's when they're able to call and ask for questions. Most frequent calls are for homeless shelters, mental health hotlines, general aid, food pantries, things of that nature. Top referrals, Salvation Army, the hotline I mentioned to you that we're able to transfer if need be. Family supportive services. You may see here that other California 211s are listed. That is because if you are working with a client, and perhaps this client is going to be relocating to another county, maybe they're going to Ventura County, Fresno County, or out of state, they can call 211 here in San Luis Obispo and ask to be transferred to that county's 211 system so they can get a jump start on the services that they know they're going to need when they get there. So that's a very popular feature that we like to share. This here is a screenshot of our website. You can find us not only by calling, but also by visiting 211SLO.org. And if you do, you will see the website looks like this. We have icons to help guide people through the search for services. They can either type in exactly what they're looking for if they know. If not, they can use the icons to help guide them through. So maybe they know they're a veteran, or they're a senior, or they know they need childcare. They can click on the icon and it'll give them a drop-down menu that looks like this, which further guides them to other services so that it helps with their search as well. And that's, again, 211SLO.org. Now, the third way you can reach 211, and this is my favorite, is texting, because it's so convenient and it captures the information on your phone. So if you would like to reach out to 211, you enter your zip code, and you enter your zip code to the number 898211. This is 24/7. Again, you're able to text. And all you have to do is enter your zip code. You will get a response in English and Spanish. That way they know which language you prefer to communicate in. You enter what it is that you're looking for, and then depending upon how many resources that you might need, they will respond within a few minutes to a half an hour, depending upon how much research they need to do. And like I said, especially if you're somebody who doesn't have access to the internet consistently, or if you're working with a client who isn't able to make a phone call due to privacy issues, texting is excellent. Yes?
So when somebody does text, do they get a live person on the other line?
You will be able to live text back and forth, and they will make sure that they exhaust all of your searches and ensure. And they will often ask, can we follow up with you in a few days? And part of the reason this is helpful is depending upon the nature of what it is you're searching for or you're looking for a client, they might have multiple resources in the database that could help. But they're not going to give you 15 numbers because that's overwhelming and counterproductive. So they're going to give you the top few that they think are going to be the most helpful to you. And if for some reason those don't work out, contact us again so that we can go back into the database and see what else is there that maybe would work better for them. So again, 24/7, you can text with a live person, English or Spanish. How you can help. Okay, one of the things you can do is take a look at your agency's information listed on the 211 website. Make sure it's accurate and up to date because we're looking to build a very robust system here for SLO County. And so we want to partner with you to make sure we have accurate information. You can look at your information. You can also give us feedback. If you know of anybody who might be interested in hearing about a presentation, we're looking to get out and interface with the community as much as possible. If maybe you know of a group or organization that might qualify to be in 211 but isn't currently listed, let me know so that I can reach out to them as well so we can partner and continue to build the database. And then, last but not least, we ask that you will like us on Facebook. You can find us at 211slo.org. And we really use this Facebook page as a public service announcement. We partner with a lot of local agencies and create posts to help promote events. If you have a new program that's going on, sometimes we'll just highlight certain agencies to help get that information out. And that's great because then people can share and private message and really help spread the word, not only about 211 SLO, but about resources here in our area. And that is, again, me. I'm Nancy Lovelace. That's my contact information. So if you ever have any questions, you could reach out to me at any time. And if you would like to update, go ahead and give me a call. And so really that is 211 in a nutshell. So does anybody have any questions for me? Yes.
So the agency that I'm a part of is very large, which of course presents a lot of change. How does my agency's information get updated on the website?
That's a good question. There's actually two ways you can update that. You can either go on to the 211 website and click on a link for agencies, or you can just contact me directly and I'll take care of those updates for you. Okay, yes.
So when somebody calls into 211, do they always reach a live person or do they have to go through some sort of directory or hierarchy to reach someone?
That's another good question. You will always be able to speak to a live person. You don't have to go through a series of pressing 1 or pressing 2 and waiting till somebody is available. We have enough contact specialists that you will always get through to somebody. Any other questions? Okay, now it's my turn. Now I have questions for you. So we have some fun 211 swag, and this is when I like to throw out some trivia questions to see if you guys were as engaged as you looked. Okay, so what are the 3 ways that you can reach 211? Yes.
You can call,
Yes.
you can text,
Yes.
or you can go on the website.
Excellent. Very good. Okay. Who remembers what our website is? Yes.
www.211slo.org.
Excellent. Very good. Okay. And then let me see. What is it that you're supposed to text to 898-211? What?
Your zip code?
Excellent. Very good. And last but not least, who are you going to contact if you have any questions or concerns? Okay, well, thank you very much for your time and attention. And again, I have cards here. We have cards in English and Spanish, rack, larger cards, smaller cards, or posters if you would like for agency lobbies. All you have to do is give me a call and I'm happy to resupply, but I left some for you here. And I appreciate your time today. Thank you.